Lead the Way, a podcast for school leaders with author, speaker, and educator, Dr. Bill Ziegler.
Welcome to Lead the Way, a podcast for ed leaders by ed leaders in 5 minutes or less. Today, I'm with a good friend, complete rock star, and just someone you need to get to know, Mr. Matt Moyer. He's the principal of Rupert Elementary School. He is the NAESP National Distinguished Principal for Pennsylvania, and he's also the author of 2 children's books. Matt, it's so great to have you on Lead the Way.
Bill, thanks so much. It is awesome to be with you today.
Matt, you're going to talk to us about something I think is really important for educational leaders, and that is how to get connected and how to leverage social media to strengthen your leadership in our schools.
Yeah, some people might not realize how important it is to have, a strong social media presence for your school and for yourself as well, but for your school. So there's a lot of different things that I do to try to make sure that we're connecting with parents in a variety of ways. And one of those is through social media. So when you think about Facebook, for example, there's billions, literally billions of people that are on Facebook. And it's an excellent way to tell your story. And no one tells your story better than you do as the principal of your school. No one is going to share the message that you want shared with your community and with the world better than you do as the educational leader, as the principal of the building. So it's not just a fluff thing that you do. It's not an extra thing you do. It should be a habit, something that you make a part of all that you do throughout your week. So, there's a lot of different techniques and tips that I use. Some of those is first and foremost, obviously, you got to download the apps onto your phone and you have to know your community. So what I mean by know your community is if you have a younger community, they may be more Instagram users. If you have a little bit of a middle-aged community, like myself, for example, a lot more people on Facebook. And then you may have a community that's more engaged with Twitter, depending on your audience. So you got to know your audience. But I use all 3 of those and some others as well to communicate our message out. From something as simple as just letting them know, hey, school's canceled because we have a snow day today, or here we have this program coming up, to other more important things that might come up. And it's a way to engage with your community as well. So if you think about doing Facebook Live, for example, it's a great way to engage with your community. Once they know you're out there, you get onto your school's Facebook page, do a Facebook Live, and it's a great opportunity to share information, but also get questions and answer those questions immediately. That's a great way to do that live, but that happens as well, just naturally, if you respond to people's questions via Facebook. I get parents and other community members who might reach out to a post that we put out or even on Messenger to ask a question. And it's an easy, quick way to get back to parents that have those questions. And believe it or not, even though you've put things out in email and everyone knows how to contact you, some people, they love using social media to communicate back and forth. And we're in a world today where parents and community members want the message brought to them on their Facebook feed. If a lot of times schools will say, well, it's on our webpage. Well, yeah, that's true. But a parent has to go seek that information out. Whereas on social media, whether it's Facebook or Instagram or Twitter, it comes to them as they're scrolling through their feed. It comes to them. They don't have to go seek it out. And so as a principal, you need to make that a part of your habit with your phone, your device, as you're walking around the school, which I hope you do each and every day and visit each and every classroom each and every day like I do. You snap that picture of children doing work or doing something that's interesting and you share that out to your community with a little message. Don't just do something in text. Make sure you show a picture because a picture is always worth 1,000 words. And what parent doesn't love to see their child, in school, having fun, learning, doing some interesting project in their classroom?
Matt, I really like how you talked about how, emails, I find what you said is so true. People don't necessarily respond or read their emails, but they read their Facebook, right? So if you post a school message or a district message on Facebook, people get it. But if you email it, sometimes they don't get that and they miss out. So that's really good. I like your Facebook Live idea. We've done that a number of times in my school, and I have found it to be really a great way to connect and get to know people and to really just listen to them and hear them. So as we close out today, share with us one additional way that our listeners, any educational leaders out there, could really get a hold of this and do this right now. What's something that they can do to jump on and start doing this now?
Well, I think the one thing I would recommend is it used to be called Page Manager. It's now called Business Suite on Facebook, which allows you to have your own personal page, but then manage those school pages. And you might even have your own principal page, for example. So look into Business Suite on Facebook as an app, download that onto your smartphone, and that'll help you out as a great first step.
Awesome, Matt. Well, thanks so much for being on Lead the Way. If our listeners want to find out more, how do they connect with you?
They can find me on Twitter at Moyer Matthew D, or on Facebook at From the Principal's Office.
Matt, thanks so much for being on Lead the Way.
Thanks for having me.
You've been listening to Dr. Bill Ziegler with Lead the Way. Bill has great resources for school leaders at chaselearning.org. That's chaselearning.org. Thanks for listening to Lead the Way with Dr. Bill Ziegler.